All right. Thank you guys so much for your patience. Wait until a couple minutes after the hour to start here. I really appreciate that. As you can see, we have a lot of people on the call, so I knew it was going to be a busy call. I was waiting on everybody. Hey, first thing, let me tell you, because I like to know these sorts of things myself when I get on calls like this. It's going to take me about 15 minutes to explain this from top to bottom, just so you know what kind of time frame to expect. And with that, I'll just go ahead and introduce myself and jump right into it. My name is Derek, and I live in, Michigan half the time and Ohio the other half the time. I'm back and forth a couple times a week. And my wife, Sherry, is normally here with me. She's not here with me right now at the moment. But we have 4 kids together, and we were both registered nurses. That's what we've done for our livelihoods. So I enjoy nursing a lot. I just knew I didn't necessarily want to retire from it and do it until I was 65. Pretty stressful occupation. And plus, I always had that entrepreneurial spirit, as they say. And I knew with technology being what it is nowadays that some people were able to stay home and make great professional level incomes online. So that always kind of intrigued me. So I dabbled with a few different things. And like most people, I failed a lot more than I succeeded. But in 2009, I signed up to be a Beachbody coach. And most people know what that is, so I won't get into that. But for whatever reason, that was just my niche. I did have a lot of success with that. And by 2012, I pretty much had tripled my nursing income. And at that point, I did go ahead and resign from nursing. And I've been home full time now for nearly 5 years now, just running that business online. So I do give you that background about myself since I am speaking to you about a home business. Obviously, my experience is relevant. And also to let you know, I never really envisioned myself doing anything else. I wasn't actively seeking another business. But when I saw that wine was getting itself together with network marketing, it really made me raise my eyebrows for a few reasons. One, I never heard of anybody doing that before. Usually with companies like this, you're dealing with products like vitamins or makeup, skincare, health shakes, candles, stuff like that. Never heard of anyone doing it with wine. Secondly, we love wine in our house, so there's that. And then most importantly, I know that a lot of people enjoy wine. There's a big market for that out there. So, those things together made me at least curious enough to where I was willing to take a look behind the curtain to see what we had going on here. And I just had no idea how excited I was about to get when I did take that look. Now, the first thing that mattered to me when I looked at it myself was, it was really important to me that there was some actual stability here with this company if I was going to even entertain the idea of doing something else. So I did do some due diligence and some research on the corporation itself, and here's what I learned about that. Well, first of all, the name of them, if you don't know that already, is Direct Cellars, spelled like wine cellars, Cellars. And that's just one of the coolest names for a company I've ever heard in my life. I think they did a great job picking that out. But Direct Cellars has been in business for 3 years already, so they do have some history and some stability behind them. They're not a startup. And up to this point, they've really just been patiently poising themselves for growth, really focusing on building the infrastructure of their company. They're based out of Fort Myers, Florida, and one of the things they have been doing to build their infrastructure is they've had their master sommeliers and wine enthusiasts that work for them at corporate. They've literally been traveling the globe, setting up contracts and doing price negotiations with these really nice small batch artisan wineries from all over the place. All the best wine regions you can even think of, like France, Spain, Portugal, Italy, Chile, Australia, Argentina, Napa Valley, on and on. They have about 2,000 contracts intact currently, so they've been very busy. Of course, their financials are all where they need to be, things like being debt-free and having great cash flow. All those sorts of things are in order. And then finally, when you're researching a company, it doesn't occur to everybody to do this, but I can tell you it's really important to take a good look at who they have for their legal counsel, because it does tell you a lot about a corporation. In Direct Cellars, they actually use Kevin Thompson from Thompson & Burton. That's spelled B-U-R-T-O-N, for those of you writing things down. And if you Google Thompson & Burton, you'll pretty quickly see they're the largest legal counsel for direct sales companies in this country, to all the big boys go to, the big billion-dollar brands. So, for me, that was instant credibility. I knew this company was definitely on to something, getting that stamp of approval from Kevin Thompson. Now, as far as the product is concerned, I want to take a second to talk about that to make sure you clearly understand what the product is. Obviously, it's wine. We all know that. But, when I first looked at it, I wasn't real sure of the marketing angle of the company or really what niche they were trying to fill because, for example, let's say my wife Sherry and I when I have pasta dinner tonight and wash that down with a bottle of Chianti or something. Why wouldn't I just go to the store and buy it like I always do? Like, what would ever compel me to purchase my wine online? That's the part I wasn't getting. And it turns out that, direct sellers, that is not the niche that they're trying to fill. They're not trying to be like an online liquor store. What they are specifically is a premium wine tasting club. And what I mean by that is, if you're a member of the club, every 30 days you get 4 bottles of premium wine delivered to your door via UPS. It's $79.95 for the 4 bottles. There's no shipping. There's no sales tax, none of that extra stuff. It's all inclusive. And you can choose to get either 4 reds or 4 whites or 2 bottles of each, whatever your personal preference is with wines. But that's about as specific as you can get with your preference selections. In other words, you can't say you want all dry wines or, 4 Moscatos or anything like that because, again, it is a tasting club. The entire premise of it is meant to expand your palate and to expose you to some different wines that maybe you never would have tried for yourself otherwise. So I think there's a big market for that out there. People that enjoy wine, they really do enjoy trying different things, especially the unique products we're getting in from these small boutique wineries from around the globe. And you're not just getting 4 bottles of wine in the mail once a month either. You're really getting a wine education here as well. And what I mean by that is each bottle that you receive is accompanied with its own tasting or pairing notes. So, it'll give you a history of the vineyard that the bottle comes from. It'll tell you what you should expect when you're drinking it in terms of a flavor profile and the grape varietals that were used in making it. It also tells you what to pair the wine with in regards to food to get the best experience of it. So it's just a beautiful, classy package that comes once a month that people really look forward to receiving. I know we certainly do. And that's actually evidenced by the retention rate that they have at corporate. After being in business for 3 years, they have a customer retention rate of 93%. And that's like staggeringly high. Usually in direct sales companies, you're looking at retention rates that average, it hovers somewhere around 20-25% industry-wide. And they're just smashing those records with the 93% retention rate. So obviously, people are very pleased with the quality of product that they're receiving, and they consider it to be a good value for what they're spending for it. And from a business perspective, that helps tremendously towards, profitability and stable long-term residual income. You have 93 out of 100 people choosing to continue to receive it month after month. Now, as far as the business side of things, the opportunity side, that's where I get really, really excited about what we have going on here. And this is what I'm going to finish the call with. Even though Direct Sellers has been in business for 3 years already, the opportunity we have to build a business with them from home is essentially brand new. They just soft launched the network marketing arm of this company a handful of months ago. And in fact, they're not even hard launching it until February 24th. So timing and positioning in these sorts of things are a really big deal. Now, I know that the entrepreneur in me, I've often fantasized about just once to be at that proverbial right place at the right time with the right company. And that's exactly where I think we find ourselves with this. And, the fact that the product is wine, that's what made me look at it in the first place. But ultimately, the timing of this thing is really what made me say yes and decide to actually move forward because, it's not just enough to be at the right place at the right time. You have to actually do something about it to take advantage of it. So that's what we did. And even though the company's been kind of operating under the radar in the sense that we haven't even officially launched yet, nonetheless, we have still already surpassed the Wall Street Journal Wine Club and the New York Times Wine Club both in terms of sales volume, and we haven't even gotten started yet. So, couple that with the fact that we have a 93% retention rate. If that doesn't give you a glimpse into the greatness to come this February and beyond, I don't know what else will. And, the company has very aggressive marketing goals. We're not even just launching in the United States. They've already inked a deal with the governments of Canada and the UK. So we're launching into both of those international markets as well early on here in 2017. So I think we are just poised for some explosive growth into the marketplace. And for those of us that are fortunate enough to hear about this company before they even officially launch and grab a position with them early like this, I genuinely believe it is a position of equity that we can take, and we are just super excited about it. Now, as far as how we earn money and get compensated and all those sorts of things, just like any other referral-based business that's out there, there's pretty much two profit activities that you're going to find yourself engaged in here. You'll be building a team of business partners, and you'll be finding customers or end consumers. And I think those two things are, pretty generically true in any referral-based business, and of course are true here as well. Logistically speaking, we are paid weekly in every facet that we earn. You can choose to either get a physical check in the mail once a week, or you can get direct deposit in your checking or savings. However you want to set that up is fine. I get direct deposit myself. And as far as, the specifics of how we earn, like what's the numbers and what's the percentages and stuff for the, especially the left brain crowd that's here today. Well, there's 4 different ways that we actually earn income here at Direct Sellers, and there's different percentages and numbers even within each of those ways. So I find it gets a bit tedious to try to break that down over the phone in this kind of a forum. So I think the best thing we can do is whoever brought you onto the call, if you want to know those details, they can provide you with a 2-page compensation plan PDF that the company has put together. And you can just look at the graphics on those 2 pages and the mathematical examples within those graphics, and I think you'll be able to absorb it pretty quickly. So I think that's the most effective way for us to get that specific information to you. But in general, I do want to say one last thing about the comp plan that makes what we do here at Direct Sellers so very different than anything else I've ever seen myself. And I've seen a lot because I've been, doing this kind of thing full time for a few years. And that is, I like to say this is a very evolved compensation plan. And by evolved, what I mean is, there's a lot of upfront money that someone can make here. And that's not how these things normally work. Like, for example, my previous company that I've been doing for over 7 years now, I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people to launch that business. And one of the first pieces of advice I would always give them in that instance is I would always say, be here in a year. And by that, what I meant is, I was just trying to manage their expectations. I would let them know that even if you do everything the right way and you work really hard and you listen to the best advice out there, it's still realistically going to take you at least 6 months before you start earning an appreciable income. It's not a clock punching job. It's a business. It takes a minute to get your legs and start earning. But that's just not really true here at Direct Sellers. If someone wants to start making an extra $400 or $500 a week, they can do that here pretty much right out of the gate. And that's very atypical. That is not how these things normally work. So it's really refreshing to be able to offer that to someone for a change because, the truth is more often than not, when someone is looking at something like this, it's because they're looking to create an extra income for themselves right now. They're not so much worried about this coming June or July. They want to create cash flow for their families now. And again, here we're able to offer that, so it's just a breath of fresh air. Now, as far as what it takes to partner with us in business in terms of initial investment and all those sorts of things, there's 2 price points of entry that is an option for you. Either way, it's a one-time fee. You can either get started at the $250 level or the $500 level. And the primary differences between the 2 price points is simply this. If you come in at $250, it prepays 1 year worth of business fees for you, and those are $70 a year, and it gets you 4 bottles of wine initially. And of course, it gets you in business and your websites and all those sorts of things as well. If you come in at the $500 level, it gets you, it prepays 3 years worth of business fees instead of 1, and it gets you an entire case of premium wine. So it'll get you 12 bottles instead of 4. So essentially, you're getting 3 times the value for twice the cost is how that breaks down. Also worth pointing out, those that do come in at the higher level, you do get a 40% discount on all future wine reorders, so that's pretty significant as well. And the last thing I'll point out about this is just due to the timing of the launch of the company here in February, there's a temporary advantage to coming in at the higher level. Anyone that does so by February 1st, you're actually going to be given the title of a founding member of this company. And essentially what that means is at all future corporate events, the national and the regional events, you're really going to get the red carpet treatment rolled out for you. You won't have to wait in lines, or you'll get special seating, private tastings and parties and dinners and fun stuff like that. And also, for those of you that already have familiarity with network marketing, I don't really need to tell you what it means to be able to have that title of a founding member of a company. That brings with it a lot of credibility and something you can leverage in your marketing for years to come. Now, regardless of how you come in, whatever works for you, after that, for everybody, it's just $79.95 a month for your 4 bottles of wine, and that's it. There's no monthly business fees. no website fees, no quarterly fees, none of that nickel and diamond stuff. You just pay for your monthly product, and that's the end of it. And once you have 3 customers, which is like really easy to do in the wine business, they don't even make you pay for your monthly product anymore. As a reward for having 3 customers, they will just send you out your 4 bottles for free. And I don't mean that you earn enough commissions to cover it either. I mean, they literally don't even charge you for it. So that's pretty awesome. The only nuance to that is if you do earn your wine for free, the company does have you pick up the $15 UPS shipping charge for the box, where ordinarily we do not pay shipping. And that's just because the accountants and the bean counters at corporate said they just can't afford to send free wine to everyone and pay to ship it. You know, they would go broke, and we don't want that. So besides the compensation plan PDF, whoever brought you onto the call, they can also send you their actual website. There's a couple short videos on there that you can watch, a little bit of reading material, just to give you a feel for the culture of the company and how much actual fun we're having here, too, because that's important as well. So at this point, my call to action to you would be, get back to the person that invited you to the call. Let them know what you like best about what you heard so far. Get those resources from them, and after you have a chance to look at those, any additional questions or missing information gaps you might have, they can certainly get those answers to you. All right, I will leave all of you to the rest of your afternoons. It was a pleasure speaking with you. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to chatting with you again soon. Thanks.
Thank you.